Yeah. Moment of silence. Now scream to your lungs, high pitch. I mean, I'm all about the skrilla. Well, I guess that's about it. The root of happiness, absent for duty. I practice absent.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to the Boys to Gents podcast. It's going to be episode 4. I just want to say thank you guys again for all the love and support that we are receiving, not only on YouTube, Facebook, and also from the DSPs that you guys are listening to. Appreciate the feedback and everything. So again, continue. So I'm one of your hosts, the amazing Josh. DJ, go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
What up, though? So it's D Braxton, and since we here, what I'm saying, I want to shout out my dog, T Will. He got a brand. It's called Shoes Got My Heart. So what I'm saying, check the details of the hoodie. Tap in with him. Shoesgotmyheart.com. You can also find him on Instagram as well.
All right, bet that. Go ahead, Hugh.
Hey yo, it's Cornell, man. Cornell Hughley. How y'all doing? Thank you for having me.
All right, and the last but not least.
I'm Kelvin Thomas.
All right. So we definitely have some fun topics. We definitely have some more serious topics. And of course, we will be doing a spoiler alert, which I will give you guys the heads up. So go ahead and look down in the description and then just skip past that if you haven't seen the movie that we're going to talk about. But the first topic, I'm going to let my guy D Brax go ahead and introduce it and get us rolling.
Okay, so the first topic that I want to bring up. So I saw something on Facebook, and the person kind of went into a rant, if you must, about black people and how we got to do better. Because long story short, someone that died and at the hands of gun violence. So it was a black person killing another black person, and that person went into a long status complaining about, oh, we talk about Black Lives Matter, but we taking out each other, which I and then that person also like, well, we can't say Black Lives Matter until we start valuing Black lives ourselves, and which I adamantly disagree with that statement. I think that those are two separate conversations, which brought me to this topic for the guys. Do y'all think that is there a time where you can be just too woke? And so let's kick that to Kelvin. What you think about that? Is there such thing as being too woke?
Absolutely. Everything what you just said, that was spot on. I mean, yeah, that's definitely two separate topics that we can be here all day for. But can you be too woke? Absolutely, yeah, you can. There's I don't even like using that word woke. You know what I'm saying? It's just word.
Dog,
Yeah.
it's so
But
annoying.
as far as like, I guess I would be someone considered woke, but yeah.
Yeah,
but
that's me.
uh yeah, but there's some people that take it too far. Like, for example, I think I I don't care for the police too much, me
Okay.
personally. The system of policing, how we do it here. But my sister's a cop, and I mean, she feel how I feel on a lot of things. Uh, but now that's, as crazy as that sounds, like, we need black police officers. We need black people in every system that there is, from the bottom to the top. And if a person that would be considered that are too woke, in my opinion, they they take it to the next level when they see a black cop. They're like, how could you be with them and you're not with us?
Pretty
But
much
if
calling you coons and all type
yeah,
of stuff.
but
Right.
if
Hmm.
but now, we have one on the inside that can change the system from within. So that's something that a too woke person wouldn't think about. They would
Right.
just see that a black person in uniform and just, shun them off. So yeah, I mean, that's my answer for it. What you got, Hugo?
Nah, I agree with y'all. Man, like, it's definitely standpoints where people have been considered like too woke, in my opinion, or and I disagree with people not being woke enough. That whole stigma in general is kind of like played out. Like in my opinion, my thing is the thing that kills me about like our culture sometimes as a whole, we put this like stature on how much you know about Black culture and whether how like and it can make you it like signifies how Black you are or something like that. Like put you on this like pedestal, like, oh, I know about Martin Garvey, I know about this, I know about that, I know about this. So that made me woke as it. Like, nah,
And
that don't really
you end up seeing somebody in a woke off. They say, well, oh,
right,
Malcolm
right.
X and Martin Luther King and Marcus Garvey.
Like, Marcus Garvey. And it just becomes just one big thing when you don't even realize you arguing with the person you supposed to be brothers with. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of defeats the purpose of being woke. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like I'm all about intelligence. Like if you can educate yourself about any subject, I'm cool with that. Like, but for you to put like some type of positive or negative stigma on the type of knowledge that you gain, I just ain't with that, man. Because it's points in case it leaves people, let's say like it's a mixed child, or let's say it's children who didn't grow up learning all that stuff. You kind of intimidating your own kind from even wanting to learn about this stuff. Because like I've been in cases where I grew up in schools where it's kind of a mixed environment and stuff, but you had them woke kids. Like if you don't know X, Y, and Z about X, Y, and Z, then they like, bro, is you even Black? I'm like, bro, calm down.
Take your Black card.
Right. I'll take your
Although
Black
I
card.
was gonna take your Black card for all the hood movies you ain't seen.
True.
But what hasn't he seen?
That's a different topic.
What has
for a
he
different
seen?
time. Hey, but look, I was willing, and you weren't. And see, that goes into my point. You weren't negative about me not knowing her. You was kind of like, all right, my nigga, you need to watch these. But I went and watched them. You see what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like, nah, I can't fuck with you because you ain't seen X, Y, and Z.
Juice.
Now, I have seen, I seen Juice, bro. I watched it at your house.
Maybe it was New Jack City and all those.
Yeah. But I ended up watching those later. But
I ain't really seen New Jack City.
See? But see, that's my thing. It's kind of like
you named the one I haven't seen, but I was
right. I don't even know who I do a podcast with.
You seen South Central?
Yeah.
Nah, like that was on the list. Remember you gave me the whole list.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I create every time I come across somebody who ain't seen, you know what I'm saying? It's a cool like 20 like the one movies. With, oh, you talking about that's South Central.
Oh, that's what I'm tripping.
Yeah, that's South Central. They start.
What's one where Buddy was busting mad moves?
Oh, you talking about Fresh?
Fresh.
Oh, Fresh.
That's the one I was like.
You ain't never seen Fresh?
Kelvin,
look, Kelvin ain't seen Fresh.
You feel me?
Come on, dog.
You feel me? Like, so
hey, Kelvin, we're gonna talk about your position after. It's up for grabs, people. So hit me up. We gotta open it. Hit me up. Hit them DSPs. But go ahead, finish your point.
But yeah, but for me to wrap it up, man, like my thing is I just ain't with rating people's blackness, man. That's everybody is their own version of Black, and until we get out of that whole like, oh, how Black are you thing, I don't think we gonna progress, man.
Yeah,
you gotta learn from everybody.
Very well
down
put.
to that term. It's a phrase that I'm seeing a lot more where they say Black people aren't a monolith, meaning like we aren't all the same. Like you can't. It's not a cookie cutter Black person. You know what I'm saying? So if you have that, if you have an idea of what a stereotypical Black person is, that's probably because you haven't been around enough Black people.
But that topic, that's what makes people think that oh wait, you talk proper, you don't talk Black. You know what I mean? That gives birth to that way of thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was about to
Which
say
is another annoying thing.
Bro, it's crazy annoying. But for somebody that ain't properly educated. I feel thanks to Mississippi, it works in my favor. But
Hey,
for me, dang, Hughley definitely took my point. Because that's the only thing. I don't know if people are too woke, which I guess you could call them that. But it's just that's just the only thing that I have for that turn off for is where that if I don't do what said person is doing, then I'm not considered woke. Or just because I don't post it on social media and for everyone to see, then I'm not considered supporting the movement or things like that. And I just feel like there's different ways to support it. Because at first I seen even Jay-Z was getting backlash when he was like, okay, we did the kneeling, but what's next? Like, and that's my thing. Like, so to me, it's more than just wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt and or things
right,
like this. Because Braxton put it perfect. Because I don't think many people actually follow the Black Lives Matter movement because I feel it's two different things between Black Lives Matter and the Black Lives Matter movement. Because even the Black Lives Matter movement, I feel they do some things that I may not agree with, but that don't mean that I
right,
think Black lives don't matter. And
Right.
so, far as the just like being too woke, I feel like it was even questions where I've ranted into people where it had me questioning my own wokeness, I guess. Because there is a lot of things that I found out that I don't know about my own history. And like
right.
the people that I feel are too woke are the ones that are not willing to educate. They just want to rub it in your face to
Exactly.
say, hey, I know more than you. And it's not like,
Mhm.
because like I'll say, instance for DJ, like he's one of the people that I hit up and that I know I won't get any like oh I can't
Ridicule.
believe it, yeah, it
Right.
just won't. And that's whether it's with anime, whether it's with history, because like even the movie that's coming out about the Fred Hampton, I didn't know about that.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
I can honestly say like I didn't, like it made me soon DJ sent me the trailer. I was like, oh, I went straight Googled it, seen the movement, read on everything. I was like, wow, that's dope. And I didn't even know about the individual of how he died. I just knew of him, but I never got the story. And it's one of those things where it made me feel like, dang, am I not a black person for not knowing this? And then it just makes his society just puts those type of stigmas on us instead, like you said, instead of like, bro, until we like come together, bro, like, cause like we're tearing each other down from the inside, I feel, when it shouldn't be, especially about these type of topics. If we educate each other more instead of trying to ridicule that person, I feel we can bring each other up even more. Cause that's the
Mhm.
biggest thing. We don't give ourselves a leg to stand on. I feel because we talk about other races and be like, oh, y'all hate on us and do this. But then if we do it, then like we get 10 times worse. Or if anybody else, it's just so different, brother. Anything else y'all got?
Yeah, I
Nah,
just
I'm good, bro.
I think yeah, I think y'all kind of hit it on the head though. So I won't add too much more. But yeah, it's just that people I just hate the idea of being conscious or woke or whatever, new word Twitter come up with. Being on code and all of that stuff. It's starting to become
A
it's
popularity
becoming like,
contest.
yeah, and it's becoming
Low
like
key.
Who else
it's
wants to go
becoming a
viral?
realm. It
Yeah.
kind of becomes a realm of like, how arrogant can I be? Like, you don't know
Yep.
about this? Oh, okay. Let me in,
Man.
and like y'all said, don't even be offering no type of like real education. They just offering arrogance. So that's the part of it that's
Right.
annoying to me.
Yeah,
And
that's
see,
crazy. Go ahead, Hughley.
yeah, and one thing is the thing is it's people like that on both sides of the spectrum. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's like white people who like probably support. I mean, support whoever that's like, oh, you don't know about this, but shoot, man, you should do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like we the only ones that's like really, really like down on ourselves about a positive thing, like knowledge.
Hmm.
Come on, bro, that's not crazy.
Right.
All right.
Learn. That's
Facts.
it.
Knowledge is power. And I'm gonna start reading more, I promise.
Yeah. I mean,
I ain't
honestly
gonna lie
though,
to you.
to be fair about all of this is a lot of the information that we don't know, or woke stuff that you don't know, history stuff, is because the history books that you taught out of are pretty much whitewashed. You know, a
They
lot of the
biased.
stuff I
Yeah.
didn't know. I would not have known had I not gone to the school that I went to. Like,
Right.
Right.
I didn't go to a stereotypical like elementary school.
Regular school. Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I
I
wish, boy, Mississippi would have burnt that shit down.
I mean,
Yeah.
that they tried to, you know, intimidate, you know, the school board when I went to, because I went to that school from kindergarten pretty much all the way up until I went to high school, or like right before I moved, pretty much until my teenage years. So being in being you just gotta imagine like being in Detroit and going to a school called Malcolm X Academy. Like
Right.
we
Yeah.
was getting bomb threats, like, and I'm talking about I was a kindergarten getting bomb threats and stuff like that. Like school every day they taught out of the books, but at the same time a lot of it was they taught off the books and then they went like completely left with a lot of stuff. And I mean you even for Black History Month you couldn't do Malcolm X and Martin Luther King because we talked about those people all year.
Oh
You
So
yeah.
had
you
to
had to
go
pick a
deep
different,
into
yeah.
it, yeah. Like they would tell you like because you had to like, all right, who are you researching for Black History Month? If you said Malcolm X, they'd be like, man, get out of my face. Go pick
Right.
somebody else and come back. So that's the only real. I mean, that was because I had access to it. That's why I'm not gonna ever get to a point where I'm like having my nose up at somebody about it because
Right.
I just was lucky enough to have that environment. It wasn't like something that I necessarily sought out. It just became a part of how I grew up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
that's all I
I
got.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff you learn then, I had to learn on my own as an adult. You know.
See. Yeah. That's crazy.
that's still learning. That's the crazy part. All
Yeah.
right, all right. Good topic. Good topic. All right, people. So this is the spoiler alert. So look down in the descriptions. Fast forward this part if you haven't seen the movie American Skin. Of course, we're not going to talk everything about the movie, more of the concept, but some of the movie. So pause this, look down the description, fast forward if you haven't seen it. All right, so Kevin, start us off. What do you first think about the movie? What do you think? What do you think about the movie?
Uh, the movie first came out in the what is it called, the Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
That's what,
sure. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Pretty
It came out there. I want to what about 2016 or something like that? Like it was made
sure. Oh
and
yeah.
ready. It was
Yeah, I didn't even know
yeah.
that.
Wow.
It was put out. Nate Parker put it out there for the people who attended there. They watched it. It got a 5 minute standing ovation. Like
Wow.
that's long for a movie. So like I've been
Wow.
waiting on this to come out. I've been but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean it was great movie, much needed, much the topics and everything that was discussed on it. But overall, that's where I'll leave it at. I think it was just a good movie. You know
Oh.
what I mean? Like
Oh.
I didn't get what I thought I would
Wasn't
get
expecting
from
that.
it. Now, yeah, we have the. It didn't. I feel like it didn't answer a lot of what I thought it was intended to do. But
Mm.
I will. I watched that movie the very next night. I watched One Night in Miami, and I think that movie, which I did not know anything about, I think that answered that for me. Like that was, yeah, I think that was like that made me think on another level.
Okay.
About our own heroes and leaders and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
DJ.
So for me, well, just like you said, spoiler alert, just to give a quick, like, if for people who don't know what the movie is, go ahead and look up the trailer. But just a like very, very quick synopsis of what the movie is about is uh a father and his son get pulled over by
Mm.
the cops. They get pulled out the car for kind of like some, shady business pretty much. With shady business by the police, honestly. And the son is like 16 years old if I'm not mistaken, and he gets to record, yeah, 14 or
14.
6. Okay, yeah,
14.
14 years old, and he's recording. You know how the world is right now. Kids recording.
Millennium. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the police officer gets upset and is telling him to put the phone away. Basically saying like, oh, it could have been a gun, which resulted in, so all of this resulted in the kid being shot and killed. And then of course the cop was in charge. A year passed and the cop wasn't charged with the murder. There wasn't any evidence. And then of course the dad, who's a veteran, um, rounds up a few of his family members and close friends, and they storm the police station where the guy who shot his son works, and they pretty much cuffed him, pretty put him on trial, and the movie kind of, and then there's more to it, but I won't give like the whole end to
Mhm.
it. But so that's just to give like kind of a brief synopsis of what the movie is. So what I thought about the movie, I hated it, to be honest. I thought it
Oh,
was
Wow.
I yep, I
Whoa.
hated it,
I wasn't
honestly.
expecting none of this. I'm with you, Nick.
Yep,
I ain't even
yep.
seen it.
I hated the movie, and I'm gonna explain real quick why I hated the movie. So
we got two spots
if you
open.
see the for anybody who, before you watch the movie, watch the trailer. So if you
Okay.
watch the trailer, it kind of like, for any black person who know how crazy the world is now, like the trailer kind of gets you hyped, like, oh, it's about to go down, you know what I'm saying? But the movie was very, very underwhelming to me. Do I think it was? I think Nate Parker is a very, very good writer and director. Um, I don't know
And
why they
actor.
went the angle that they went, but I just didn't like it because the so with black movies, they're like this. It's this like area where like a lot of profit is being made off of black pain, and it's starting to like really like irk my nerves. You know what I'm saying? So they're using a lot of like real life situation that black people are going to, and like monetizing it. Granted, is Nate Parker, he's a black man, and if anybody's gonna monetize it, I would prefer it be a black man. But if we talking about profiting off of black pain, but I'm tired of that. I'm kind of tired of that shit, especially where the movie, like, it starts off with black pain,
Hmm.
and so you kind of like a little upset, and then it goes into this revolutionary thing, which I was like, so when I saw Nate Parker wrote it, and then I saw the trailer, I was like, oh yeah, this shit gonna get good. Went into the
Right.
revolution thing where they kind of like they was tired. It's just basically the whole thing was about how black people are kind of gonna eventually get tired and fight back. So they fought
Right.
back, right? And then it came to the point where pretty much it started black pain, then it went revolutionary, and then the movie ended on black pain again. And that's the part where I'm just like, nah, I'm fuck that, you know what I'm saying? Did I want the cop to get in the movie to get killed? I'm not gonna lie to you, I wanted him to get smoked. I wanted him
Yeah,
and his homeboy to get that. I wanted heads to roll on in that
Right.
movie specifically, because they painted those guys as being such like evil villains. And as much as like in the end the white guy kind of like admitted to like profiling them,
definitely.
the black guy eventually still gets painted as the villain in the end of the movie. Now,
Right.
granted, there's a little bit of a like, oh, the kid who's recording, and another part to add to the movie, there's a kid there's another kid who's doing a project for his school where he's kind of like documenting everything that's going on. So the kid is documenting everything, but the dad at the end, one, he dies, and two, he yeah, big spoiler. Yeah, the dad dies.
That was kind
The
of late
guy
on that
who
one, bro.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the guy who killed the son lives because they basically had cops and some like random hostages put this guy on. They were the jury, and they found him
Mhm.
guilty. But of course, Nate Parker's character didn't kill him because he turned the other cheek. And
Right.
then they decided to, walk out. And as he walked out, he got his shit pushed back.
I
And
will say, do you think what if the trailer didn't paint the picture as it was going to be more violence? Would you have still said it was underwhelming?
I probably wouldn't have watched it, to be honest,
Okay.
because I'm already in a point where I'm just tired of seeing. I don't want to see any more slave movies. I don't want to see
Okay.
any
Right.
more movies about
I agree with that.
kids getting killed through like real social injustice stuff that's going on in the world. Like I think people need to take a break from like trying to profit off of that type of stuff. I think I kind of find it a little disgusting, to be honest. I'm not saying Nate Parker is disgusting for that, but just in
Yeah.
general, I just don't like that idea that like you gotta always talk about that. Especially movies are is a fantasy. It's a damn fantasy. So you could have
Right.
rewarded us one time and
And yeah, what we
and
can't do
punished this
in real life.
person what he
Right.
like because I mean the guy pretty much admitted to racially profiling, and then if you really watch the one part when he actually shoots the kid, like there
He
was
shot him in the
no
back
excuse for it. Yeah, he shot him in the back
4 times.
so 4 times, and it so like this whole like turning the other cheek and like forgiving and all that. I mean, hey, I tried my hardest to forgive people, but in that realm, they kind of like brought it up to make that guy be like a horrible person as
Yep.
much as they tried to like kind of de-escalate it at the end. Like, nah, it was fucked up. So yeah, I'm over the whole Black Pain movie. So I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed in
Okay.
how
Mm.
how the trailer portrayed it to what it actually played out to be.
But
All right.
I got a couple
Okay.
questions for you then,
Go ahead.
real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Two things, if I can remember them. A, isn't like I know you say you're tired of those enslaved movies. I'm really not, and that's because we're speaking on real shit that happens to us. Like is that important to speak on that and let that be known in a way that people who don't watch it on the news to see it in this way?
I think it is, but I feel like it's still painted. It's propaganda to an extent. So
I
it's
agree.
like it's not a if it's not a true story,
Yeah, I
then
was about to
people
say.
don't receive it as much as like a real story. Now, if you had the Trayvon Martin movie, or you had the you know what I'm
Right.
saying
Oh, okay. I see what
whoever
you're saying.
Mike
movie to
Brown.
like kind of
Yeah.
paint what really happened so people can
Right.
understand that situation, and yeah, but like a fictional movie about you know what I'm saying what something potentially happened, like then that's where I'm just like nah. I mean I could never watch that movie again and I'd be perfectly okay.
I'll definitely watch it
Um,
again.
That's fair.
But go ahead. You got another one, company said?
um, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. I'm just gonna ask because Hughley, I know you haven't seen it, but in one part of the movie, to play devil advocate, what do you think about people recording police officers instead of what we were
Oh,
taught? Kind of see hands at all time because a lot of people do feel like, hey, it's my right and you can't stop me. Do you feel people
right.
put themselves in not gonna say a worse position because no one still deserves to be shot for a phone, but
Right.
what do you think about
Um, my thing is it's it's a slippery slope. Like,
that?
but I feel like just to answer the question,
Yeah.
I feel like it's necessary to if you feel like you're in enough danger or you're valid in your recording, then go ahead. I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're just recording. Because my thing that I disagree with, even though the cops sometimes are well, not even sometimes, a lot of times in those cases they wrong.
Yeah.
Period. Like they just dead wrong. But I've seen cases personally where we in our emotions don't know how to chill. Like my dad taught me, like hand on the wheel, shut the fuck up. Like,
Yep.
excuse my language, but like don't poke the bear. Even if you right as hell, don't be like, I know my right. Da, 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 da. And I feel like sometimes with us recording, it gives some of us that feeling like, oh well, since I'm recording, shit, you ain't finna do shit now. Da, 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 da. I'm from Georgia, bro. You from Mississippi.
Yep.
Them cops will kill you and take that phone. Like real talk. Like not
Yep.
saying I've been exposed to that, but it's been times where I've been pulled over with my mom and they talking reckless to my mom in like the one of them in between cities in from like Cordele to like Albany or something. And you know, one of them cities where it got like 100 people max. And you know what I'm saying? One of them dudes that look like he from Mayberry, like walking up to your window, you looking real nervous. Pull out a phone in that case. Like that's my thing. So it's kind of like it comes from a realism standpoint. Like granted, you have every right to pull out your phone, and I agree with that. But my thing is be cautious, just kind of like with the Black Lives Matter shirt. Know your stuff, know your rights, stand up for what you believe in, to be cautious of the realism. Now, if we going into the movie, from what I'm understanding about how the movie was, it seemed like one of those things where they was trying to put forth a message. Like, okay, this is a thing that is frustrating us, and this needs to stop. To a certain extent, I kind of agree with DJ without completely watching the movie and all that, just having the cliff notes, because partly I feel like we overextend that whole like, oh, black people are so much in pain, even though we are, because we getting killed. But us as black people, I feel like it's cool for us to shed light on different aspects of our blackness. Like, because blackness is a spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like movies like Dope, that show a light on, like, oh, the nerdy black guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he's a Harvard, like. But see,
what?
You see what I'm saying? Like,
you hated that movie?
Who are you?
Oh my God, Dope.
But I was so excited to see it, and then I saw it. I was like, "This is trash, man."
Again, we have a spot open.
That movie so cold,
Hit me.
Man.
But that's
that shit really take you back to the 90s. It gave you that 90s hood movie feel.
That 90s hood vibe,
It did.
or people that you know and stuff like that, like different aspects of you being you. And like, I ain't gonna lie, like, to a certain extent, I identify with one of those characters, because it's like, yo, like, I like this and this and this. Does that really go with my blackness? And that goes into the previous topic we were talking about. But all in all, like, I feel as if movies should have a spectrum, and white people don't put themselves into a bubble. Asian people try not to put themselves into a bubble. Like, I don't necessarily agree with us putting ourselves in a black pain bubble, but I do agree with the fact that we should get messages out there, but I feel like it should be more balanced. Like, I don't feel like it should be all 12 Years a Slave, and I don't feel like those are the movies we specifically should be getting awards. Right, I didn't even see it, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna do it, because once I seen Roots. I'm straight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no,
I seen Roots and Mississippi Burning,
right,
and all them other.
Man, and I grew up learning all about that Willie Lynch theory, all that, bro. I ain't gonna lie, being woke, Austin, bro, like, knowing all about that shit sometimes, bro, like,
depressing.
You don't want to visit nobody wants to visit your trauma all the time. It's important to know about your trauma, understand it,
I was about to say that.
We have to move on, bro. But yeah, like, I agree. I feel like the messages are necessary, but we have to balance out our messages.
Because the Academy only want to award the slave black pain.
That slave movie.
I'm like, bro,
right?
Chill.
Because they and
you know what I'm saying?
To me, I ain't gonna. It's I agree, bro. And to me, I ain't gonna lie. It's like you guilt tripping. Like, it's like, oh, well, if we don't give this award, then the black people are gonna get so mad. It's like,
award the slaves.
I hate you.
He was a slave for 12 years.
Real.
Award. I'm like,
you about to get Kelvin riled up? Look at him. He ready.
Right.
He was a slave for 12 years. Let's award it. Like,
what y'all are speaking on, that's a good point. That it was on that show, Black AF. Y'all ever watch it?
Oh yeah. I could get all into it, but I mean,
I watched that shit like 20 times.
I know. Every time we're there.
I love that show. But one thing that the dad talks about is he's starting to second guess, like, am I actually good at making movies and shows, or are they just giving this to me? Just like I said at the beginning, it got a 5-minute standing ovation. Are they just giving it to him because, all right, it's black pain again? We have to do this. If we don't do this, they're gonna think we're racist. Like,
right.
So I mean that could be something that's thought of right there.
I definitely think it is.
Or they clapping because dude got his melon blown back. You know, that blew the life out of me. I was like,
Shay definitely cried. She was crying.
I knew. I didn't think that it was gonna do that. I thought they was gonna I thought he was just gonna end up going to jail or something, or they was gonna beat the hell out of him when he got outside, like on some.
I would have been surprised if that happened.
But like a sniper, they straight snipe dude and then played him. And then the worst part is they played him as a mentally ill veteran because he was a
Yep.
veteran. Talking about he had
Right.
ties to Al Qaeda, and I even get the symbolism in that is like you know what I'm saying when it's
Yeah.
black people and we do something like
Yep.
that, it's either you a thug or you got some type of extremist ties or whatever. So I get it,
Right.
but I was
I
just
agree with
like,
that.
here we go again, and I wonder if because it was written and directed by Neil Parker, but it came under it was put out under the Spike Lee umbrella. I
Uh-huh.
wonder if Spike
Uh,
Lee had something to do with that.
Spike
And
Lee
then
will mess
like,
up a
hey,
movie.
it is.
Oh my
That boy will
God.
mess up a movie.
Yeah,
man, I know
Hey,
people
he'll
love them for
put
Spike
Wesley
Lee.
Snipes in it, and Nick Cannon. Shout out to Nick
Man,
Cannon. Hey, sorry if you watch.
All right. So
Hey,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, real,
No,
real
go ahead.
quick. Two things that I'm gonna go back a little bit off of something that Cliff and Derek said. That yeah, I mean, like I said, I think, or how do y'all feel about this? I know y'all don't like those type of movies. Can we have
No,
both?
I ain't say that.
For example, yeah, but
Yeah, go ahead.
because some people are not, need and want this information, but they're not going to go read a book. They'd rather watch a movie
Right.
on it. Um,
Right.
I'm one of those.
and on that, uh, like like my wife, one thing that really opened her eyes to a lot of things. We were talking about this is 12 Years a Slave. Like that movie really
Right.
showed her a lot of things that she didn't know. Um,
Right.
not
an,
watching it.
another one, and then in this movie here, American Skin, um, it was, and this is what kind of blew me about the movie. It was only like 5 minutes of the whole movie that they actually had a situation where the white people or the cops, they were really showing how they feel. Well, oh, y'all black people are thugs, so y'all, black lives really don't matter, that kind of thing. While and then the black dudes were kind of pushing back, like hold on, and even the woman cop kind of pushed back on it. Like I felt like that should have been more of the movie. But my point is that I feel, or see if do y'all agree with me, that we do need these type of movies around every now and then, even though it is pandering a little bit, but we need them around because
To me.
they answer those questions for people who aren't going to look into it. That's first part. Second thing,
Yeah.
one more thing. After watching that, and then I came home. This came in today. Camera for the car.
Hey,
Oh yeah, a dash.
Like,
Yeah.
hey,
I like it. Nice plug.
I'm never gonna be like this. Hey, I got you. You know what I'm saying? It's all I gotta do. Hey, it's on. It's ready.
Yes, it's already there, so you ain't even got to pull it out.
When I
let
get
me
pulled
I'm gonna do
over,
real
I
quick.
just put my shit, set my phone up, start recording, and set it in
I
the
I
glove
do that.
compartment.
I do that now. Then I saw this. I was like, this is
But
crazy because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Right.
360 all around, inside and out the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing is being blatant with like, hey, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, it's cool. But my thing is to answer your question, Kevin, bro. Like, that's what I kind of was trying to say. Like, I agree with the balance of it. I feel like we should balance it. I just don't agree with it being all that we put out. Like, because I feel like those are the movies that get the most attention, which is cool in a sense, but you got to think about from the standpoint of people who, which I don't really agree with, would get most of their information about black people from the media and from movies, right? So
Too.
if you have a person who has never met a black person and all they see is slave movies, media portrayals about thugs and stuff like that, and Eddie Murphy, you see what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you feel what I'm saying? Or
Man, what did Eddie Murphy do?
hey, you see it?
He just
You
threw
see
the
those
rabbit.
shots for no reason. Anybody catch a stray?
I'm just saying.
He just
So,
using them
like,
as it, yeah.
He must ain't
He
go
think
watch Coming to
everybody,
America 2. He ain't watching
yeah.
Coming to America 2. He seen it, was highly disappointed. He see the trailer. It was, oh.
No.
Hey, hold on, Hughley. Have you seen the first one?
You seen the first Coming to America, Hughley?
You wild. Yes, I've seen the first Coming to America.
Matter of fact, I know you didn't see it because we always do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I love that shit. But and don't get me started on Coming to America too. No, I'm just playing. It's probably gonna be a hot flick.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying the balance of it. I feel like it's necessary, bro. Like But we should show a spectrum, not just like, oh, slaves. We always slaves. We always playing basketball. We always doing that, because that's what creates stereotypes. You know what I'm saying? You like all that stuff, not to go into other.
I was just saying I think we need a balance, and I think we got a balance,
Yeah,
because we
no, I
got
agree.
this, and then we got Best Man Holiday. Great movie, by the way. But I mean, like, you know, we got. I think we got plenty
the balance of it, but I get what you're saying. I think that will fall more in the spectrum of
I don't think we need no more of those movies. No more of the slave or the kid got shot and the mom and dad, you gotta watch their pain on, unless it's a actual non-fiction, like real life story that they talking. I don't want to see you make up none, because I think 12 Years a Slave is just I don't think it's based on a real story either. So I'm good on that. There was that one movie. Oh, it is. I still don't want to watch it. Or that movie, The Butler. Is that it was something like that where
I think that's based on The Butler. Of course,
man's with the eye.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
The Color Purple.
Why does everybody refer to bro like that?
You ain't gonna get blessed with that.
Hey, let me slide back on something that Hughley said though earlier. The part about having your phones out and stuff like that, and being careful with it and realism. Yeah, and I do agree, because people don't on that side do things the right way all the time. You don't know what type of cop you're dealing with, because that's not to say all cops are bad cops, obviously.
Right.
But I also don't like this idea that we have to feel so like thankful and overly humble when we get pulled over by a police officer, because if I ain't do nothing wrong, then I don't give a damn about this whole idea that if something happened to me and people run the camera back and was like, man, if he just wouldn't have been an asshole, he wouldn't have got pulled out the car, and the cop wouldn't. No, if you wouldn't have been an asshole and wasn't abusing your power, because what you are is a peace officer. You know what I'm saying? Your job is to keep the peace. So if you come in here with a bad attitude or whatever, and you upset that I'm upset, I had somewhere to go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got my phone out because I have the right to record. You know what I'm saying? I get that, traffic stops are one of the most dangerous things that a cop has to go through. Guess what? If you go to a car scared because it might be the end of your life, and you end up shooting me because I got a phone or a brush or something, your ass don't need to be in that line of work. So that idea, although I understand where you coming from, that idea, we absolutely can't keep embracing this. Don't get me wrong. For my son, I just want my son to get home. And that's kind of what dude was trying to tell his son before that situation. I do want my son to just get home. But at the same time, for me, I'm not being overly humble with no police officer. You know what I'm saying?
But let me ask you this.
I don't want to give you a hard time either. But what's up?
Okay, and I agree with that. Like, you shouldn't be like, yes, sir. I don't feel like that. But at the same time, I feel like we all know what an attitude feels and look like, you know what I'm saying? And just to put yourself in that type of possible risk, like, I don't know if it's smart. So what I will say, do you agree with, let's say, you just said you want your son to come home too, but with you it's like, oh well, I'm like, whatever. What if your son see how you react?
Yeah.
It's kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, would you agree with if your son reacted how you react?
If the camera rolled back and you smoked my son because he had an attitude, though, I'm pulling a dog off of what's the name. The only difference is when it ain't going to trial. It ain't going to trial, and they gonna have to push my melon back too, because I'm going through hell and high waters if you do anything like that with my son.
My thing is, regardless of who right or wrong, the end result is we died. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it's been so many cases where, like, so my thing is not saying that we should be like, oh my God, like, I'm so scared. But at the same time, like, I don't feel like it's smart to entice the realism of the situation, just based upon what I've been
When
seeing.
I
You know
leave
what I'm saying?
this
Like,
earth, it's gonna be on both feet, never knees in the dirt.
yeah, that's
Damn
fine.
that.
That's
But
Yes,
I
fine.
sir.
feel you.
I would just rather not lead her. That's my
Yeah,
thing.
I
he
feel
said,
I
you.
would rather stay.
But
I would
that's the
rather
thing,
stay.
though. It's a lot of situations where people were nice and humble, and the
And
situation
they
still
die.
escalated. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And people still become martyrs and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure their families would much rather them be home. So if it don't matter whether you good or bad in a situation and you like enticing and whatever, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna pick the path of least resistance. And if it's a better chance of me living if I'm just chilling, and you know I ain't gonna kiss your ass, but I'm gonna be like, yo, like, no, I'm chilling. You know, like then,
Don't
hey,
get me
it don't
wrong.
cost it don't cost nothing
I'm
for me
being
to
over
chill.
the top. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Let me
about to. I'm not about to be
keep up.
no like if when I get pulled over, I'm like, what the fuck you pull me over for? I'm not gonna do none of that. You know what I'm saying? But the
Right.
thing
I know
is,
my right.
I've been pulled over and
Like, oh, I
like
know
the
my right.
cop goes, yeah, I've been pulled over and the cop goes straight into suspicion mode for literally no
Right.
reason. And in those
True.
situations, my answer gonna always be, I'm gonna have that energy. Like, is it a reason why I'm being asked this?
Right.
I'm not about, or hey, I don't have to answer that. Can I search your car? No, you cannot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or hey, is it a you gotta? Because I've even one time I got pulled over and I just wasn't in the greatest of moods or whatever, and he was like, is it? Do we have a problem? Like, 'cause you seem like you had to. I was like, well, does me having an attitude break any laws? Because I mean, I'm sitting here, you have my ID, and you know what I'm saying. So if you don't mind, I would like to just press forward with whatever we got to press forward with. And I mean, after I think he just peeped that I just was having a long day, and then he came back. He was
Yeah.
like, "Here you go, take a, have a good day," and that was it.
Just like
But it
any
was just
grown
like,
ass man
yeah,
would.
because
Yeah.
I don't owe you no type of extra, what I'm saying, nicety either. Just like if a cop came to me with a certain type of attitude, I ain't about to be like, why do you have to be mean to me? I mean, or you know what I'm saying? I can't file a report for you being a mean cop. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, you shouldn't be able to arrest me for being a mean citizen. You know what I mean? It's certain laws that you just gotta. I get it. I'm not gonna make your job any harder than what it is. But at the same time, don't think the energy that I owe you is like I gotta kiss your ass, because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
that's all
And
I'm
I
saying.
agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah. No kiss ass in it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody disagree with that.
Yeah.
Right. So before I give my take, which it's not going to be long, just because you guys definitely hit on it, and I will touch on some like different aspects of it, and then I want to pose a question, which made me think when DJ said about the movie, because I had two movies in mind. But first, definitely Hughley. I agree with the phone situation, just because, like you said, Mississippi, like it was never even a thought to pull out my phone. It was like, do I think it probably could have saved some people in some instances in Mississippi? Of course, but no one in Mississippi I know will pull out a phone just because, like how we're taught and in our mind. Again, not saying like I know now, I'll say that every cop is not bad. But growing
Right.
up, I thought every cop was bad. And I thought every
Right.
cop was racist, especially in Mississippi. So when we got pulled over, what I was told was if it's in a dark path, which usually it is, because Mississippi is a lot of trees, not streets, you drive to the nearest lighted area, but you drive
Mm-hmm.
slow so they know. And the police understood. Like it was never a time where it was like, oh, he's running. It was just, hey, I'm
Hey,
scared for my
what's a
life.
lidded area?
Yeah. Hell,
Yeah.
lighted
Liddy.
area. Lighted area.
Liddy.
You feel it? So
You can edit up some words.
hey, so that's like I guess like I never thought of pulling the phone. So I'm not saying that anyone's enticing because like I say, that is your right, that's your property to record. So like definitely, but like Hughley said, I'm gonna go with the pass and least resist. I'm not gonna, of course, like even DJ said, of course, I don't think well, a lot of people don't be like, hey, I know my rights. Because the person you see that I feel sometimes are going for that viral moment and they're just enticing a cop when the cops you could tell is like, all right, bro, like chill. But for like anytime I've gotten pulled over, it's more hands. I ask anything I can do, like kind of the guy do. Hey, do you mind if I reach over and do this? Hey, Just so you know, even if the cop have attitude, and it's been plenty times, I think it wasn't until I got older, I kind of like like Brax was saying, like I do know my rights, so like I know like I don't have to be in the best mood, and I still shouldn't die, or it shouldn't put in your mind whether you should give me this ticket or not if I'm not like yes master. So like
Right.
and that's how I feel a lot of times. I feel like the instance because normally like I'm always in a good mood. Just genuinely I'm always just happy jokes. So that's kind of what I portray. And I feel like I haven't gotten a ticket. But say for instance, if I'm just quiet, because I do get in my mood, so when I'm just quiet and it could look like I have attitude, like I've always gotten a ticket every time. Even if it was like I was doing 5 over, if I'm not like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, yes, sir. And this, like, yeah, I get a ticket. So I get like I feel that that part isn't right and it still is happening. And like I feel like even like we shouldn't even be scared. Like once you see them police lights pull up in the back, you shouldn't get that feeling in your gut. Like I feel like that everyone gets. Like that's how you know the problem is, and to where you just don't know what's gonna happen. So that's why I would teach my son, like, yes, please be respectful. Please don't grab your phone. Although it's your right, I need you to get home to me. Or else how I look at it, my wife loses 2 people instead of just that one. Because like Braxton said,
Right.
I'm gonna have to go. Because that's and part of the movie, that's what I thought. That was the first thing I thought when Blow lost shit. I said, damn, chick then lost her son, now her husband, who she was trying to get home to. And it was more the thing, like, but I did love the movie. I definitely now that Braxton said it, I can see
Hated it.
I can see why he hated it now, but to me, like I pictured that's exactly how a situation in Mississippi would go. Like
Yeah.
that's how I
It
pictured.
was
I picture,
realistic.
and
Yeah.
that's how I
Sounds like it.
pictured like that would happen. Like as far as them really not killing somebody and trying to get that message out. Because in his
Right.
mind, he said, "Hey, this video is gonna touch the world, and the world can see how it happened, and we didn't use the same force as them, but still I got shot." Because my like the part that got me is when he's walking out and he looks up at the camera, his hands are up, so you can clearly see that he does not have a weapon. And yet, snipers took the shot. As the
Not to
police,
mention the cop that he was walking out with also said
he's
he is
unarmed.
unarmed and he's walking out with his hands up, and they still blew his shit back.
And
It
that's
was
why I was
like,
like, for that's the only part I didn't like for the news media. I see, like Bracken said, the angle they tried to play, because not all news is going to be good news. But I thought at least they would show one news channel trying to show, like, hey, this guy was unarmed and was killed. Although he held up the police station, no one was killed, though. They had to use violence to take it, but I would have rather them, if they was going to go that way, I would have rather them have blanks in the guns so they can show like, hey, we didn't even have real weapons. And even though we took over this, we just wanted to show you because we knew that this would be the only way. If you were going to do like a document, like just record everything just to show like how people are, like, hey, we wasn't really going to hurt anybody. Like instead of
Right.
that's the only part I hated when I seen like the old man get shot. I was like, oh, it's real gun. And when I seen it ended, I was like, well, if you was gonna do that, if you was planning to do that shit the whole time, then you shouldn't even like brought in real guns and shit. But I could get it to take
and
over the police station. Go ahead, bro.
a part that really blew me about the movie is why I say I hate this whole like y'all profiting off of black pain. So there was a part where he was about to, well, at least acting like he was about to kill the cop because they found him guilty or whatever,
Yep.
and then he wanted to talk to his family. So then he called his son. He FaceTimed his wife and son. And of course, like the son is like, "Oh, where are you coming home, Dad?" and all that stuff. You know, the kind of heartstrings thing they were
Never.
trying to pull at. And so you can tell like even if dude didn't plan on killing him, or if he did, like they made that kind of be like a turn of like a change of heart, like, oh, this dude has a family to go home to. And I was just like, see what I'm saying? Like, why? So, like, why do black people, in every sense of the way, like, even in the movies, we got to be the bigger person? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every
No.
time That's why I was just
Now
like,
that I hate.
Yeah, I do hate.
yeah, I was just like, why do we always got to
Because
be
not
the
all
bigger
black people are the
person?
bigger person. Yeah, not all black
Always.
people are
Like even when he was,
But
that's why I say when he forgave the cop or whatever, when the dude at the end said, you know, I want to walk out, not as enemies as brother. I could have been like, nah,
smack
fuck
his
you.
hand,
Yeah, I
get
was
the
like,
fuck
nah,
outta
fuck you.
here.
Like we
You
can
lucky you
exist,
walking.
but we don't gotta like each other. Like you still kill my son.
Hey,
Like,
real talk though, y'all make this movie sound like it's more sad than John Q. See, like y'all make
It's pretty much John. It is sadder than John Q because it's pretty much John Q except the kid don't live.
but
You
Denzel
know what I'm
died.
saying?
And the kid, dang.
Both of them died, actually.
Yeah,
yeah. So I was
actually,
about to say
it's John
yes.
Q if the son and Denzel died, pretty much.
So I was about to say yes.
Facts.
No facts.
I'm
So
glad you actually brought that up.
Yeah,
That's really
I do like
that's
the
what
movie.
it sounds like from a person who hasn't
The
watched
name
it.
of the
Yeah.
movie should have been American
Yeah.
Q
Hey,
or John Skin.
you stupid, John. I was about to say
John
no,
Skin,
but
the
I do like
brown
the movie.
version.
I think everyone should watch it, and I do think because it does give a message of. But I think everybody should watch it. But
Only reason I say watch it is because it's Nate Parker movie and it's under Spike Lee
support him.
umbrella. So
Facts.
support black films and all that. But other than that,
Hey, with everything you said, Josh, hey, at some point we should tell the situation we had when we were driving to Mississippi.
oh, we almost got a song.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, that's a little strong. You know?
We'll leave that for the listeners to decide whose fault it is. But we in the car know who it was. But Braxton, have you watched Antebellum?
is that the scary movie?
It's not scary. It was again one of them trailers. It makes it sound like scary because I thought it was scary until Kelvin told me like, "Hey, bro, it's not scary at all. Like it's totally different." So
that movie is amazing.
So
I fucking hated that movie.
Let me see. Without spoiling anything, so it's basically
You can go ahead and tell because there's a good chance I ain't gonna watch it. But.
All right, another spoiler alert. If you ain't seen Antebellum, gonna skim. So basically, it's this black lady who's a doctor, and she basically empowering black people, mostly women, saying like, "Hey, we should get our rights." And there's a group of whites that we'll call them. They basically like move like the Illuminati, for instance. Okay. And they seen she's rising, so they reach out to her to set up she randomly get an interview, and like she looks at it and was talking with the lady. The lady was kind of being basically trying to downgrade.
She was a racist.
She basically was downgraded, like playing everything like, oh, I like that lipstick, it fits your skin tone. And like doing all this. And you can see the lady.
Microaggression.
Yeah, and you can see the lady was mad, like, yo, who, like, my assistant said you with, like, you want to talk about my book or anything? And the lady was like, oh, yeah, your little book or whatever. And then she basically closed the thing, boom. So, and then she goes to this conference and she finally gets to meet up with her homegirl. She empowers them and they go to dinner. And then her homegirls wanted her to go out with them, but she was like, nah, I got to go to my hotel. And then I got an early flight to go see my daughter, basically go back home to my family. So they said, oh, yeah, we called you Uber. So this truck pulls up, which is to me unrealistic, like, because you would ask the person. So she gets in the truck, person's playing the music loud, and then they drive off. And she gets a call and she's like, really can't hear. So she's asking the person, hey, turn the music down. She can't hear. And it's basically a person saying like, hey, I'm your Uber driver. Like, hey, where you at? And she's like, no, I'm in my Uber. It must be a mistake. And basically she gets kidnapped. She wakes up, but the movie doesn't tell you, like, it just shows her like before then it starts off showing slaves. And then it switches to the part I just told you.
It almost goes back and forth between like slavery to current time. So like you're confused until that point right there.
Yeah.
Right, but I ain't gonna lie, to sum it up, it's basically Get Out, but the lady version.
Yeah. So basically she gets kidnapped and they really doing slavery in 2020. In like Louisiana, in this
white people having fun,
like far away, where they kidnap black people, transport them, and make them do slave things, or they kill them.
They kidnap specific black people, like the woke ones, the like ones that doctors, can actually make a difference.
Yeah, like doctors, things like this, and they treat them like slaves, make them pick cotton and burn it at the end of the day, because of course we're in 2020. So yeah,
So this how you feel when you roll with Nixon down to Mississippi or something?
No,
Oh, no.
like movies like that. Are you tired of those movies?
No,
Like,
that has nothing to do
But
with that
that's like
situation.
some. I mean, that's different though. I think that's like more of a
That was a twist.
some like
Okay.
some different shit. Like Get Out. I love to Get Out.
Okay.
It's
It
like
was like Get Out.
some yes, like almost sci-fi alternate reality type thing. Like I'm good with those. I can do that. I don't know if it should be. I don't know if they should overdo it because they like the with Get Out and This Is Us and all that stuff. Like I love them, but it's like don't overdo
Do
it.
it.
You know
Okay.
what I'm saying either. So
No, that's just my thing. And but I ain't gonna lie, I feel when y'all even saying going back to the movie, it was kind of underwhelming for American Skin because I thought it was gonna be kind of like The Hate You Give. Like I thought it
It
had
was like that to me, no?
nah, because
Nah,
The
the
Hate
Hate
You
You
Give,
Give was
like bro, I
way
was
more beneficial. Yeah, yeah.
They're
The
definitely
Hate
in the
You
same
Give.
family, but I
I'm with you.
mean,
I mean,
It's
I
like
ain't seen it, so
one's
I
the
yeah,
big
that's like
brother and
his
one's the
drunk
little
uncle.
brother. Yeah, it's
American Skin is The Hate You Give's drunk uncle that be doing too much. I'm telling you.
you
Yeah,
are.
you can't. Well, but nah, to sum it up, like I said, like even Braxton said, watch the movie even if you don't like how we reviewed it. It's like, nah, it's not for us. If you just because it is supporting Nate Parker, and my guy was good. So I'm gonna pass it to my guy Hughley to introduce our next topic of cancel culture.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, question I'm posing to y'all. We're talking about cancel culture. In your opinion, do you feel like cancel culture is necessary in the black community? Do you feel like it's detrimental to us, or do you feel like it's something that is valid when based upon who we cancel? So I'm gonna start that off with Nick. You tell me what's going on,
Okay.
man.
I actually don't think cancel culture exists. I think they try, but I don't think you cancel someone until like they need to be canceled. I just see like I think people are canceled for a week or two, and then I think then everything just goes back to normal. So, and that's why I hate cancel culture because like I feel like if you're gonna cancel people for like things they actually should be canceled for. For instance, example, I would say R. Kelly. Like people would say, although people still listen to his music or things like that, like if you were gonna cancel him, that's something you cancel for. Don't cancel me for something I said 10 years ago and try to bring it up. That's the part that I hate with cancel culture is always trying to dig and find something. And that's what makes me think it's more of a trend and you really don't care. You're just trying to get noticed.
Definitely a trend.
Yeah, it's just a trend and you actually don't care about what I said. You just know you can entice other people to make this bigger. And then the person's going and you can just say, hey, I was the one that did that. I brought this up. So it looks like I care about what I had to say, whether it was gay rights, whether it was police issues. It makes it seem like you really care about those issues, but it don't. You just feel like attacking someone like an internet troll. And that's my biggest thing. It shows that cancel culture just doesn't give people the opportunity to grow. That's my only thing to show growth. Like I'm not the same person because I'm pretty sure if you look now, go to my Twitter and look up, it'll be some crazy, reckless things I said at the time that I definitely don't stand by now. Just because don't mean like, oh, you changed, so you was just being fake. No, it's just people can evolve from what things that they thought they believed in or what they thought was right at the time. And cancel culture doesn't give you that time. Now, I do believe black people try to cancel more black people. They're quicker to cancel other black people than any other race. But far as cancel culture as a whole, where everybody, I'll say, no, I don't think it exists, but I do think black people will cancel people. And my example was going to be we talk about Tory Lanez, people cancel him, but he hasn't even been found guilty. R. Kelly has been found guilty and people haven't canceled him. I just feel like people are hypocrites and like we pick and choose.
R. Kelly is fairly canceled these days, though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
He's a pisser.
But
I'm about to say, I'm not gonna lie to people. Like, I think as a whole, in general, yes, but it's still the amount of people that I see on my social media, especially older people. They're like, no, okay, he ain't touched my daughter and he ain't do this, and it's kind of
let
like
him
that.
drop an album today.
Oh,
I
people
Well, I
banging.
mean, in
I,
general,
I
it's
think
hard
people
to
are gonna bang
even
it.
that it's probably a certain amount of people that will, but it won't do it won't do R. Kelly numbers.
Yeah, I
But
agree. I don't think
on
he'll
top of that,
ever bounce back to those numbers, but I
yeah,
definitely think he
But
would
I don't think it's
surprise
because of the
people
picture.
about how many numbers he would do. Like I think he can do more than what a little Dirt should be doing. Like because I feel like his numbers should be better, and I feel like R. Kelly because I mean people have core fans and diehard fans.
why I think he's still canceled is I don't think that he can drop. He can't drop nothing even if he wanted to. Nobody's going like Spotify. They took his
Yeah,
like I don't think they took his music completely off, but they took like
his
the
playlist.
his playlist, all that. Like
That's part of
it's
being canceled, though.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
say. That's what I say. I think he is somewhat canceled.
But then to me,
Uh,
that just brings up the point that you would only get canceled like if the rich white people in power decide to cancel you.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, to an
truly,
extent,
truly
yeah. I
canceled.
think. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, financially, yeah,
Yeah.
but I
financially
don't know,
canceled.
man. Cancel culture, like all right, what you were just saying earlier about like, if you go through somebody's Twitter, 10 years ago, like you should give somebody room for growth. As much as I want to agree with that, I do agree with it, but like I will also be a hypocrite if I told you this if I saw like a friend of mine, like say I had a friend who, was white and they had 10 years ago, they was on Twitter, talking about how much they hate black people and all
Hmm.
type of racial slurs and stuff like that. I don't think it ain't enough growth in the world for me to want to be friends with you again. So I
I
think
don't know.
there are limits. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There it is certain stuff that like if you do it, it ain't too much. Like when it come to race, once you show me if like anybody not black, once you show me any type of hatred towards black people, that's
I,
it.
I
That's
can't
it.
trust you.
What
Yeah.
about in our culture though? Like, do
Well,
you feel
yeah,
like
and
it's
then
necessary
even
to
in our
cancel
culture,
our
like
amongst ourselves?
amongst ourselves, I think we tend to be overly critical in general towards each other, and I think we got to be careful because I mean, people careers and lives and stuff be at stake, or just their, social status ain't everything. But you label somebody something and you stand on it, knowing that it's not true or not knowing having no facts to it, and you just cancel the person. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's detrimental, because you don't
Yeah.
you assassinate somebody's character, it's almost no coming back from that. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
over
Yeah,
with.
like bro said there, it is temporary at times. It depends on what it is to me, like, cause some stuff ain't temporary. It's like as soon as
What
you
about
cancel
Doja
that person,
Cat?
he's done. I think she
What
should have been canceled. Though.
And I'm about to say
That's the
it only lasted a
huh?
week. Milano when they were trying to cancel her because she wanted to change her
mulatto.
name. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
when she
But
wanted to change her name.
she should have changed her name though, and I
But
think she
that's the
is
thing
working
though.
on changing her name.
What
But that's the thing though.
can
She
y'all tell me that story?
so
Which one?
basically she
Mulatto.
she wanted to change her name because she's starting to notice like it was messing up her money for its deals, right? Because people was like, hey, that's a whole race and you're naming yourself that. And so she
Well,
posed the question that she wanted to change her name, but people was fighting her back, was like, why you change your name? Like it was because like basically saying like she's racist type thing when she wasn't. Like she was actually trying to do the right thing and like, hey, I don't want to offend nobody, so I'm gonna change my name. But she ended up offending people.
so
Like,
this the thing. This is the thing about the term mulatto, and this is why. So how it all came about. People was getting on her because not until recently, people didn't really like. It, it wasn't mulatto wasn't necessarily a slur or
mhm,
a bad term, but the origins of the term mulatto comes from what I'm saying, a bad origin. So it's like you shouldn't really call yourself mulatto, no matter what, even if you mix with black and white, because the term mulatto was really created in the slave terms by white slave owners that most of the time raped their slaves and which a baby came from. So that term, you shouldn't be calling yourself mulatto, to be honest. But and like she was saying, like she's been getting a lot of backlash from it, so she is in a process of trying to change it. But like, I mean, it's a process, especially when you just becoming established, and now people getting on you about your name. But I don't think she should have been canceled. But I understand the backlash from it, because when I first saw the name, I was like, huh, mulatto. I was like, that's I
I
get
was
it.
about to say it
But
didn't even.
I've heard people say the term. I've always known it is not the correct term. Well, not always, but I've known for a while it's not a good term to use. But when I saw it, I was like, I
But
don't know.
that's
She
my
probably
only
shouldn't
thing.
call her that.
Like I thought it would have came when she first came out. The backlash didn't come to she said she wanted to change her name. That's the only part I didn't
That's
understand from
crazy.
Oh,
cancel.
Right.
I saw a lot of backlash before she said that, because I remember on Twitter and stuff I used to see people be like, somebody was like talking about her and the other chick, light skinned Keisha. They was like, I would support them more if they had different names.
I was about to say everybody
Uh,
else seen like, especially like this piece, like basically industry. I would say, of course, you see a couple people. Like I didn't see it till like Shade Room picked it up of posting people of like until she said she wanted to change her name, and because that's what even made, because I didn't know anything about it until I watched the Joe Budden podcast, because there was like cancel cultures at again trying to cancel her because she wants to change her name, and that's why I was like, that's crazy to me.
Oh yeah, I saw a lot of backlash before that. I saw a lot of people say that she should, but I have seen people afterwards, like kind of the stubborn people, being like, "Why you changing your name now? You folding and all that stuff." And I mean, honestly, you can honestly say I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. I really wasn't,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, that like educated on that term, because it's not that. Even if you look in the dictionary, if you look up the term mulatto in the dictionary, I think just like recently they kind of added that part of it kind of being somewhat of a slur. But like in the past, if you look in the dictionary, it don't even say, most of the time it just says somebody that is of black and white ethnicity or something like that. But that's because it's the term has been whitewashed over the years, and people didn't know the origins of it,
The
you know.
origin
But
behind it, and I feel like a lot of people don't though. So I think that's why it was kind of
That's
acceptable for her to
that's why I
have that
don't
name.
think that she should have been canceled though. Now,
Yeah,
Doja Cat
true.
with that little corny stuff she was doing. I mean, cause she's had two situations really. She had the
Yeah,
situation where she was in like some chat room and was just acting
right.
like a pure coon or whatever. And then she also said something like she said something when she first came out about like, oh, I only like white guys or something like that when she first came
Mm.
out. And I was just like, okay. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna always turn the side out to anybody that's, you know, that like has an issue with, like, preference is one thing, but like to say I only date this and that person is out of your race, that makes me think you have some type of self-hate. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
So my thing is like, so yeah, because I disagree with like people being in a way trolling in a way to get like just attention, because I feel like that's what that is. Like you saying certain X, Y, and Z to raise controversy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you feel like it still requires to get canceled? Because to me, getting canceled, that means you're important enough to get canceled. Like, and for Doja Cat to be who she is, like, not saying who cares, but it's kind of like, okay, she said she
You
only
know
do
what?
white people.
You're
Okay,
right.
I feel like
I
it
give you
gives
that.
validity to the people. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's kind of like, oh, I'm
I
gonna
don't.
cancel 6ix9ine. Why? Who is six
Who is
nine?
it?
You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
like I mean,
I
if he
think
was
that's a
black,
little
if he was,
different,
I
but
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I that's a
I'm
little
saying though,
different.
you get what I'm trying to say?
And
Yeah,
A
no,
little
I
different,
get you. I
but
get
I
you.
don't know.
I will say, I guess I do backtrack a little bit on that one. Maybe not cancel Doja Cat, but I just don't. I really didn't. I didn't understand why
As a
people
person,
continue to give her attention in general. Cause I mean, she's not even that
positive or
sweet. She
negative,
not even that
right?
sweet of a, you know what I'm
she's
saying,
a cow.
A
artist.
spitter.
You know what I'm saying? She
She don't spit.
okay, but like she
She
kind of like
move.
she got that backlash And then it's like people like talked about canceling her for a little bit, and then she just kind of like skyrocketed up again. It was just like because at times people only certain people get held accountable. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And a lot of I think black people tend to be held accountable too hard and more. And this might be a little controversial. Black men are held way more accountable in certain situations than everybody else. Like black men, I feel like will be canceled way quicker than a black woman, than a white woman, than a white man, any of that. Because it's just easier. I feel like black men is easier for people to criticize black men. You know what I'm saying? If you criticize a black woman too much, people gonna say you hate women. If and it's the same thing when it comes to like I think people for some reason tend
Okay.
to forgive other ethnicity people, men or women, just more anyway. So it's just like black men at times tend to get the get more backlash than anybody. So yeah, that's why I
What
don't necessarily like cancel culture. I just think that instead of being like, oh, we canceled her because it sounds cool, it's just like, why would you want to listen to this person? Like
just
I'm
stop.
good.
Just
I
stop
could I
listening.
could not listen
Yeah.
to you and not be good. You know what I'm saying? When you
Right.
show me that, you show me, okay, you know what I'm saying? You in chat rooms, talking, being
She
like
was
acting
talking
like a
reckless.
little bed wench or whatever. It was just weird. I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
she came back around and basically she kind of tried to shit on black dudes again, like on some like that. She felt more accepted from all those. And I was like, bro, why do people always gotta like if you felt a certain way about black men, why did you wait until you got caught, what I'm saying,
Uh,
acting out to like try to say, well, these people accepted me more. Okay, then why did you have to act the way that you act if they already accepted you? You was acting like a fucking caricature of yourself to be accepted. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
But whatever.
Yeah.
And
No.
so
Kevin,
and,
what
and I
you
don't
got?
care for cancel culture.
What you got,
Uh,
Kevin?
I mean, I think it's definitely a thing. I mean, example R. Kelly, you know, like I said, if he tries to come up with something right now, we're not letting him. I mean, even if he actually got it out, only a select few of people are gonna fuck with it. Um, and I'm what you said. I'm okay. I'm with Brax on this one. Like I'm okay with you digging in someone's past. Like you said, anything that deals with race, it's a done deal for me. But and then I mean, if we say we can't do that, that means we can't go back. You know, 155 years. Slavery time and things like that. Like all of them motherfuckers is canceled to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hate, I hate when people say that. Like, oh, well, we can't judge them on that. What you call it? No, fuck that. Yeah, we can. You know, on
Yeah.
today's
Most
times,
definitely can.
even the Holocaust, you can't judge. Like, no, yeah, you can. Like, so that's. I think that canceling ourselves is a real issue. We we tend to cancel ourselves. One of y'all said that earlier. Like we cancel ourselves before we cancel anyone else, and we hold that cancellation on them longer than we will everyone else.
Hmm.
They even Gucci, the brand, it was done for a minute. Like it went down, gave it 2 weeks, it was right back up. You know what I
Of
mean?
course.
Like, but then
Right.
Nick Cannon still don't got a show. You know what I mean? Like we held him down harder, and it was us that did it. You know what I mean? Us more than the people he was talking about. Whether however you feel about it. And then I even seen something today that have y'all seen a movie Cutthroat City on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's new,
No.
but I hated that movie too. But
All right.
Ti is in it, and he's got what is that? What is
Big
it called?
Lilo.
Yeah, he's got that, and I seen people were like hating on him for that, like oh you're disrespecting other black people. You need to apologize to this community. Like, come on, man.
Wow.
Like it is a
I
movie.
just
Like
thought it was terrible makeup.
I
Like
thought like it
that
did
should
look
look.
really bad too.
Yeah. Why y'all ain't
Um,
just get somebody with the disease to
That's
do
what,
it?
and that's what the people who are trying to cancel him. Like, there's people with this that could have did that part. He took money out of their pocket. You know, like you can't get mad at Ti for filling a role. If you're gonna get mad at somebody, get mad at the writers.
Or
Writers,
just
the
not put
director.
that on him though. They could have just not did that. That was stupid.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he
I
could have
don't
just been a
know.
regular dude,
Yeah,
regular black dude from New Orleans.
terrible
Um,
makeup.
hmm But I think there's definitely a reason that it's here. You know, I don't necessarily agree with the system of cancel culture, but it's definitely necessary. You know, but Josh, you said that you wouldn't necessarily cancel somebody from their past. Why not?
Just cause one, I'm just more nicer than you guys. I mean, if we're being honest.
That's
I mean,
It's some
no,
stuff
it's just
I can understand, but
Yeah.
it's just because being from Mississippi, like you always like if you go into it, like I always went into it thinking every white person was racist, and then I realized the racism was taught, not that you don't
yeah.
just grow into that. So now, mind you, if it's a grown person still saying racist things when there's so many avenues to where you can educate yourself and you still choose to do this, then yeah, it's cool. But if someone that wants to get educated, I'm saying I won't have a conversation and still even for a friend, like if say for instance somebody was saying something racist and then we had a talk and then he was like, "Oh, I'm not racist anymore." I'm still not going to your house, but it still don't have to be beef between
I
us.
think that's a little different though.
Well, I think it's
Like,
different when you
definitely
said the
smoke.
slavery compared to when I said looking at a tweet. So I
no,
mean,
but hear me out here. So we're talking like if I
that's
have
actions converted to words. Like I get
if I
that
have
part.
a Caucasian friend in 2021 and then we're kicking it and he tells me, man, like I grew up thinking the Confederate flag was cool. I grew up with parents who taught me that this way and I learned that that's not the case. Yeah, we're cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was education. But if I'm just, I would never do this. If I'm sitting here just scrolling 10 years back and I see dude said this and it was never addressed, we got a problem.
I want to know.
It's just like, and again, like I'm still not saying. I just think like there's different levels. Like Brax said, there's things. Like for instance, when I say go to your past, I brought up that because it's Kevin Hart making a joke about gay, and then they brought
Right.
it up saying he's homophobic. That's what,
That's different though.
but
I
that's what
wasn't
I'm
cool.
talking
But
about.
that's what he was talking about. That's what he
I
was
I'm
mean,
not,
that's what he was
and y'all
talking
just
about, but
brought, and then
we changed. I asked the question and changed the situation. All right, it's a racist person 10 years ago,
yeah, I'm about to say if it's a
and he
racist
said they
person,
still nicer than us.
I'm about to say I am nicer, but I'm still saying like if it's a random person, like nah, I'm not kicking it with him. Like I was about to say, in my friend, I would like to think that I know about them. But yeah, I would have a conversation. Like if it's a friend, then yeah, I don't like that definitely changes things. And it goes into that from friend to acquaintance category. That even if that like, no, you ain't come around my kids, or if like we see each other, like if you give me a head nod, I'll give you one back. Like I do now with people that I still think are racist that act like they care when they don't.
And I'm strictly talking about adults now. I mean, adults in like pretty much like 16, 17. If you was 16, 17, spewing off little stupid stuff about like, oh, I want to kill all black people or white people or something like that, that type of stuff, then I might be like,
And
yeah,
that's
nah, you got to move around. You got to get away from me. That's the part. Now, so if a 5 year old, if it's a picture of you at 5 years old with a, I
Confederate
don't
flag
know.
shirt on.
Yeah, I'm not about to be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But it's just certain, it is certain things though. Like, yeah, mm. I mean,
Yeah.
if every time something crazy happen, you don't say nothing, but then you see a dog get killed, and
Oh
you
man,
just go into those like all
I
them long rants. I got a big
hey,
side
don't
eye
kill
looking at you. I
cats,
was like,
man.
okay, so it's a. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a dog person. I have a dog. You know what I'm saying now. So I don't want to see either one. I don't want to see a dog being tortured, and I don't want to see somebody get shot down in the street. So if you one of those people that only got something to say when it's dead, or you one of the people that say animals are more precious than human. Mm-mm. Nah,
hey,
not that I hate you or none, but it's like son, yeah, it's something about you
He
that I
hates you.
can't
I
trust.
say that all the time, man. Everybody in that group, PETA, they all better be be down with Black Lives Matter. Like,
No, they're
if
definitely
any
No, they
of
not though.
they're
I'm about
definitely
to
a
say,
all
course
lives
not.
matter people.
It's people that we know. It's people that we know that care more about animals than you know what
I
I'm saying
hate that.
the human life. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like, you know, like that's the part where I'm like,
If you smack the
yeah.
chicken out of my hand because it was a chicken, but then you see Sandra Bland and you like, well, she shouldn't have.
Mhm.
nah, yeah, I agree with
That's the
that. I
most
agree with that.
contradictory I've ever seen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Segue to us, Nick.
All
What else
right,
we
all
got?
right. So, we're gonna talk about the great and late Kobe Bryant. So, this is not meant to be sad. This is just we're just gonna talk about the experiences that we had when we seen Kobe. Like first time we seen Kobe, the greatest Kobe moments. So yeah, DJ, go and kick us off, brother.
Yeah, man. Kobe, like, well, for one, it is sad for me. I mean, but yeah, uh, Kobe was my Jordan. You know what I'm saying? I was
Right.
born in the '90s, so I grew up watching Michael Jordan because my grandfather and my brother loved him. But like my love for basketball was because of Kobe. Because I really, really started playing basketball seriously like around like 5, 6 years old, and that's when Kobe came in the league. So Kobe's prime, you know, not really prime, but like when he started to take off, you know, in the 98 ish, 97, 98 ish, that's when I was really, really into basketball. So, like, for me, you know, as an adult, or not even as an adult, but as a fan, you don't, when you like legitimately idolize a person, you almost don't see death from them as an option. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Nope.
So
Right.
for me, when I saw that, it was just like I ain't even believe it, and it's still to this day. Like I'm like, dang, for real. And then on
Right.
top of that, to know that his daughter was there, just you know, it just threw me all the way off. So, but that's all I have with that part of it. But like my Kobe moments, like you know what I mean, it's I everything that I do. I wouldn't say I, you know, give like I say that's Kobe, but like my hard work and all that stuff. I got a lot of my competitive edge and hard work and all that stuff from Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw how personal he took being like the best player. No matter what people thought who was the best player in the league, like actually watching him take like being a superstar like seriously and working on the mechanics of his game and all that. Like, I actually like took that serious. Like when I bought a DVD. It was called Magic Johnson's Fundamentals of Basketball. After seeing Kobe do that had that summer where he worked out with the Dream.
Yep.
Because that was when like he was really like working on his footwork and all that. So that Magic Johnson's Fundamentals of Basketball came out, like I need that. I need to work on my mechanics of my game, my post game, all of that stuff. So that's how serious of a Kobe fan I am, man. I mean, and then when he got his shoes and all of that stuff, like his shoe deal with Nike. I mean, y'all know when, especially when I first came in, I stayed with a pair of Kobe. So yeah,
Always.
and you know, to kind of rewind back to the cancel culture thing. This is why I don't care for cancel culture, because people were trying to cancel Kobe,
Facts.
and you know, kind of find out, you know, he didn't do it. You know what I mean? But anyway,
Mm-mm.
I don't want that to be surrounded around this conversation. But and then I was actually able to watch like some of Kobe's greatest games, even being living on the East Coast. Cause every time I worked out the situation when I lived in Indiana with my uncle, I made I got a job I got a job just to pay for the NBA package. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And the West Coast package at that, to be able to watch them get. That's how serious of a Kobe fan I was.
Right.
But
All
yeah,
right, Hugh.
but
Man, I yeah. To mirror kind of what Braxton was saying, I wouldn't say I'm as a huge of Kobe fan as him. Like we're not comparing, but I am a pretty big Kobe fan. Similar to Brax, when I started watching basketball in general, it was around like 96 ish. I was around like 4 5, you know, whatever. and kind of seeing his mentality, like how he was approaching the game and stuff like that. I'm like, this dude, I like that. I like that. And then I became a Lakers fan in general just because how my moms and pops was. They loved Magic and cooking. Like that's what they thing. Like pops love Magic in the game and how he whoop, whoop, whoop. And moms love, cooking and like they relationship and all that. And it just kind of escalated to the point where that was just the basketball that we was watching in the crib. It was the Lakers. That's it. It's the Lakers. And Kobe being a big part of that around the time I started watching basketball, it just started to mesh. And to talk about dude's mentality, I would totally agree on like as far as a lot of the like drive and like constant like discipline that it requires to actually do something that you love to do. I would say that is contributed to Kobe for sure. And yeah, man, some of my favorite Kobe moments, of course, is like the ones that everybody loved, like 81-point game. I wasn't fortunate enough to watch it on TV like Brax and them, but yeah, I love the highlights, and yeah, that's my Jordan too. So shout out to Kobe, man. That's the dude.
All right, Kelvin.
I grew up a huge Allen Iverson fan.
Okay.
And like I remember being 13 years old watching that 2001 series, and
Still don't like him for that.
don't like who? AI? Like, and I was like, man, like obviously I was going for the 76ers, but I just like I gained so much respect for him then, and then to see AI's career kind of go down at the same time they're the same age. Kobe's go up, but it was more than the game for it. I loved his game, highly respected. It was the mentality that he put on all of us, so that yeah, I mean, what more can I say? The same thing as everybody else in this world feels. I bought, but then towards the last couple of years, his last game, his watching that like, dang man, even though was going against him at the beginning, watching that I was like, man, this is going to be towards the end of me watching basketball. Whenever LeBron retired, I'm probably not gonna be sitting through watching the whole game because those two aren't in it. But I ordered I had to order it the 6 months before he was gone or so, the Slam magazine with him and Gigi and the basketball team on it, because since my daughter was born, my life goal was to create an AAU team for her and my son. And on top of that, I bought the book maybe like a year before that, the How I Play, just so I can put that into my daily life. You know what I mean? So it was more than basketball, man. But yeah, it was tough for me.
Yeah, well, I was about to
Yeah.
say, for me, I agree. Kobe was my Jordan just because I can honestly say I don't remember watching Jordan grow up. So that's why Kobe's my GOAT. A lot of people argue that MJ is, and that's cool. But like I said, Kobe's the greatest player of my generation. Um, just because, like, I tried to model my game around him until I realized I didn't have that mentality. But I definitely like to shoot a lot, so it worked. It worked. It
Yeah.
worked in my favor.
Sure the fuck do.
It worked in my favor.
You make it
Hey,
sometimes.
give me the
You
ball.
make
Give me the ball. But it just what first turned me on to Kobe was his confidence. It wasn't even like it wasn't because that's when he was rocking the 8, had just got the Sprite deal, and like you can just see his confidence, the way he was dunking and everything. And that's why I was like, yo, I want that type of confidence. And it wasn't until I got older till I seen like, oh, he got that confidence because of his work ethic, and he knows he's put in that time and he's put in that work. So like he's given us so many moments, and to me he's influenced a whole generation to me like Steph Curry has, but Kobe has influenced so many more people of to see the importance of footwork, to go to the dream and to show like, hey, I'm not great at this, but I want to get better. So let me go to this person. And Kobe always passed the information forward. Like you see now with Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, and then so many more that can go on that he helped and was like, hey, I could keep all this information to myself. I can keep all these moves to myself, but I'm gonna take these young guys and show them, even though he knows he competes against them to win that championship, he still put that to the side because of the love that he has for the game and still was able to teach people. My favorite Kobe moment would have to be the second time he repeated when he beat Boston. Um, just because a lot of people thought it was done now because when Ray Allen was hitting them threes, I ain't gonna lie, I did get down. I got down, and but to see like he not once, if you go back and watch, he didn't once think they was not gonna win anytime. And that's just that, like you can't say it enough, the mama mentality. And then you think like, okay, what more can Kobe do? Then he gets out the league, retires, and then does the Mamba Academy. And then you look at, I'm not gonna lie, Kobe's the only reason why I drink body armor to this day. Because it's the only reason why. It's Kobe Bryant.
Because
If
it ain't
it's
no
not-
Body
it's
Armor
been
water
good.
kind of fire though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I was about
Real?
to say just to see him believing in something and see the money that he made because of smart investment. And to me, that just shows like I don't think that would work if Kobe didn't believe in what he believed in. The fact that he said like, "Hey, I know I could go with Gatorade, I could go with anyone else, but I'm gonna go with this, and we're gonna be just as big as them." And you need somebody with Kobe. Like that's why I feel like they went for Kobe because they knew it wasn't gonna be easy, and they needed somebody that honestly believed. And I think Kobe did everything that he believed in. Honestly,
That's
that's
what's
my
up.
guy.
Follow your
Definitely.
dreams, man.
And yeah, I was about to say definitely rest in peace to Kobe, Gigi, and the 7 other passengers that lost their life. Definitely a celebration. Miss him, and, and yeah,
I
I
just
mean,
hate I ain't get to see, we ain't get to see his Hall of Fame and induction speech.
bro,
'Cause I think
Yeah,
that's
that
that
gonna
would
would
be
have
a
have been
been
tough
so.
one. That's
crazy.
That would have
another.
been
That's
so
gonna be
funny.
another tough one. I ain't gonna
That
lie.
would have been
That's a.
so funny.
And the crazy thing is, I don't know if I want to watch it because I know it's gonna be sad. Like
It's
I
gonna be
definitely want to
sad.
celebrate, but I'm definitely gonna record it. But I don't think I'm gonna watch it on that day. Try to
Yeah.
get off
Yeah,
social media just because it's
I
gonna be,
usually, bro, like even with celebrities that I'm like, I really like follow, which I don't follow a whole lot of them, but the ones that I really like be invested in, I don't usually get caught up in like, even if they pass, where it's like, oh, that's sad or whatever. But like, I
yeah,
was like genuinely sad like that day.
yeah,
Like, I like,
man,
I
for
like
real.
really like for a week. You know, like
Yeah,
I was just like, dang,
yeah.
like it was like for
yeah,
real. Like I usually like look at people when they talk about being sad about celebrity dying, but this was the one time where I was just like distraught. Like,
thank,
dog, like they really Kobe. Like you
Like you,
just don't see it.
like
You
I was
just
about to say,
don't
like
like
you
you just
said,
don't
I
see
didn't
that.
believe it. Like I literally had just took a nap because it was my going away dinner for me coming up here
Hmm.
to Maryland.
mm-hmm.
So I woke up. I was like, let me take a nap because we're gonna be turned today. And I woke up in such a good mood. Like I took a nap, and my wife was like, she's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "What you talking about, girl? Yeah, I'm okay. I just woke up from a great nap." And then she was like, "Oh, you must haven't seen the TV." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, what's?" Because I was like, "My family ain't gonna make the TV. I can tell you that."
Right.
And
Right.
then she was like, and she was like, Kobe passed. And I was like, "Man, you don't get out of here." You know how many,
Right,
I was
right,
like, you know how many people
right,
getting killed on the Twitter? You know how many people
right.
Twitter been
You out
killed?
here playing.
Hey, yeah.
Right,
And I was like, man, let me go to ESPN. Turned on
right,
ESPN, hadn't hit it yet. I was like, see, man, I told y'all. And then it
right,
was on golf.
That's
And
because
then they,
TMZ all scumbag ass
bro.
right.
was
And
out
that's why
there
I said,
like
because that was the first place I said, where'd you see it? Oh, it's on TMZ. I don't want to hear it. I said, you know how
that's
many
who
people?
needs to be canceled is fucking TMZ. And I
Facts.
wish TMZ, the Shade Room,
Bro,
Say Cheese, even though I'm about to spam y'all shit with our page, I wish somebody would come through and just
hey,
completely cancel you.
DJ
I wish
Vlad
it
need
was
to
an
be canceled.
executive. Vlad, yeah, all of them. I wish I just pray to God one day something come down where like them type of outlets that just kind of prey on negativity and like facilitate negativity. I wish something would come down where all of that stuff just get canceled. If we gonna talk about cancel culture. But yeah, rest in peace to Kobe. It's one of my favorite gifts my wife got me when we was in Germany. Back in she bought that I think like in 2015. I had my little my game room or whatever. And all that, man. One of my I'm gonna end mine on this one, but I'm such a Kobe fan. When I watched Kobe last game in Germany, and if anybody been like overseas,
Like
you know that there is a 6 hour difference. It's a six, depending on where you live at in the country. It's a 6 to 9 hour difference in time. So and the Lakers play like at I want to say like maybe 10 o'clock
so they play
Eastern.
10 Eastern time, 9 o'clock Central.
Yeah, so I'm talking. I was, bro. I took a nap and I went to sleep early, like at like 7 o'clock at night in Germany, just so I could wake up to watch the game or whatever. And I'm glad I did though, cause he went crazy.
Bro,
I'm talking about. I'm not. I was still tired too. I'm nodding off watching just to make sure I watched that game.
That's dope.
But yeah.
What else? Dang, I felt like I wanted to say something else, but go ahead, Kelvin.
Man, the day before, LeBron had just passed his record, so we're watching that, and I realized at that point I called Demi over just so I can teach her the greatness of Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Because I realized I was like, man, I never really, we talk about LeBron. Her favorite player is Giannis. I don't know why, but
popular.
Yeah. So we talk about all these players. I was like, man, I never really introduced her to the greatness of Kobe. So I sat her down and we're watching clips. And before that we were watching Gigi and everything that she did. We watch a lot of girls her age who's handling the ball and things like that, just trying to get little pieces from them. But we watched more. She knew at that time knew more Gigi than she knew Kobe. But at that point, I had to teach her who Kobe was, and then the next day, you know what I'm saying? I'm cleaning the house, my phone's charging in another room. I come back to my phone after sitting down for like an hour. I'll get blew up, and reading the messages. At that point, I knew it was real because like too many different people are hitting me up. My mama hit me up. You know what I mean? So
you're a big fan. My bad. Go ahead.
And like just last thing, I'm even the game you were talking about, Josh. That his second repeat, I was in basic for. I still to this day I have not watched a minute of it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Brother, you great.
That's a great game. Great game.
Hey, ask my wife, man. While I was there, she printed out like I'm over here, like when you get mail, I'm over here reading like I was reading watching the game.
Lines.
She sent me the draft. She said like what I'm saying. I'm over here reading the game. I was like, oh shit, Kobe just did that. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading it though. I'm not watching. I had to put it in my head. But yeah, go ahead, Brax.
You're a big fan of somebody when they pass, your family members and friends calling you to ask you, are you okay? I was like, bro, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's when I realized, I'm like, dang, everybody definitely know, like, that was my dog. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, my mom.
Once again, R.I.P. Kobe.
Yeah, just wrapping it up, man. Like y'all said, R.I.P. Kobe. GG, the other 7 passengers has lost their life. Definitely gone, but not forgotten. Anything else you guys want to plug before we dip? Everybody said everything they need to say. All right, man.
Oh yeah. One more thing.
Go ahead, my brother.
What we always said, what we've been saying on social media, man. If y'all, if you got any comments, anything, any topic you want to kind of rebut and holla at us, hit us up in the inbox. You will see all our Twitter. I mean not Twitter, but IG handles and everything in the
description
comment. Yeah, the description. So check us out. If you got something you got something you want to get off your chest, you want to holler at us, let us know. Let us know you got a topic you want us to talk about. Let us know. But that's all I got.
Yeah, facts, man. Again, thank you guys. Please like, subscribe, comment, all things DJ just said, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
All right, man. Peace.